Hello everyone and welcome to today's Tradeify tutorial. Today's video will run through how to configure your settings to get your account fully set up and ready to get going. The settings are available here on the desktop version of the software, located in the bottom left-hand corner over here. The settings always need to be configured on the desktop version of your account first, and this will also reflect through to the app version of Tradeify too. So let's start off with the display and the setup of your invoices and quotes. This is done using a feature called Document Themes. This feature is important to get set up early as it allows you to pre-populate any important and relevant information onto your documents without having to worry to type out certain information every time you raise an invoice or a quote. So let's click into the standard default one that comes with the system. So as we can see here, there's a section to upload your contact details, and right next to it, you can upload your logo. You don't only have to upload a logo, but you can upload a letterhead as well, if you just always make sure to double check the recommended sizing and file type that you've got written here at the bottom at all times. If we jump into the Invoices tab, you'll see you have a Terms and Payment Information box too. Now this is a really useful section to upload things such as bank details and terms like I've got written here in this example. Like I said before, this pre-populates at the bottom of every invoice and quote. If we jump over to quotes, you'll see that you've also got one that's specific to quotes. Therefore, any terms in this box here will pre-populate on quotes only. Let's have a look at an example invoice over here. Now, at the top, you'll find your logo where we've got Tradeify written. On the corner over here, you've got your contact details. And if we scroll down, you have the pricing breakdown in the middle. Just at the bottom there, you can see that the bank details and the terms are pre-populated. The other thing you can also do from your document themes is tailor the breakdown of pricing that you give your customers. As you can see at the moment, you've got the description and the total costs, which is what we're showing them at the moment. However, if you come into these toggles over here and switch them on, like so, and if we have a look at the example now, you will see that we actually get to show them the quantity, unit price, discount, individual tax, and amount. Now, these toggles can be switched on and off depending on the level of breakdown you want to give your customers. And they also appear under the quote section as well. Now, let's move on to how to set up your pricing to make your quotes and invoices quicker on the go. Let's start off with this feature called billing rates. Now, billing rates are used to charge time at different hourly rates based on the type of work being completed. Whenever you log any labor against any job, quote, or invoice in Tradeify, it will always ask you to select which billing rate you would like to log your time against. This then allows the system to calculate a billable total of labor, whether that's for keeping track of profits or invoice the customer the accurate labor charge. Now, if I jump into clicking onto new billing rate, you can see that you've got a display name and a description. The display name is purely internal, so that's only relevant to yourself and the users of Tradeify, whereas the description is what is visible on invoices and quotes to the customer. You've also got an estimated hourly cost, which is roughly how much it costs yourself as a business to do the hour of work. And you also have an hourly rate, which is the rate that you charge your customers. Now, it's important to have an hourly rate in there so that the system can calculate your total labor. But the estimated hourly cost is not essential. However, having a figure in this box over here does allow you to keep track of your profits. You've also got a billing minimum and a billing rounding here in Tradeify. The billing minimum sets the minimum amount of time you want to charge your customers for labor. Therefore, if I logged half an hour on a job and my billing minimum was a 1 hour, then the charge will come to an hour and a half. Then we also have the billing rounding, which builds up a billing rate. This allows you to set how you'd like to round your time up. Therefore, if I set it to 30 minutes and I log an hour and 20, the system will round it up to an hour and 30 minutes. Once you've decided all of this, you can click save, and then you have another billing rate to log your time against. Now let's move on to our price list, which is located over here. Price list items are a list of commonly used materials or services that can easily be added to jobs, quotes, invoices, bills, and purchase orders at the click of a button. The price list is where all of these are stored. Now the price list differs to the billing rates, as this is where you keep all of your fixed costs that don't necessarily depend on time. There's a few different ways that you can populate your price list. You can click on New over here, and you can set up an individual line item like so. You have the item code and the description. So very similar to billing rates, your item code is internal and your description is what appears on invoices and quotes visible to the customer. You then have a unit of measure, which is really handy for items that work, for instance, in measurements of square meters. You then have your supplier. If it's a service that you're supplying, then you are the supplier. If it's a material, then make sure to put your external supplier in. Down here, we have a buy price. This is the price that I bought the material at. which then allows us to calculate the sell price depending on the pricing method. If you click on this drop down over here, you'll see the list of different pricing methods that we have here in Tradeify. Using the buy price and the markup is a separate feature called pricing levels, which I'll show you in just a second. You then have the option to enter the price manually yourself without the use of a percentage markup, and then you can also choose to enter the price later. That is how you set up a line item manually. The other option you have to pre-populate your price list is to click on options over here and import a price list file. Now, if you have a price list from a supplier, then this is a really handy feature that you can import straight in here and do a bulk upload of costs without having to create each one manually. Now, let's move on to pricing levels over here in your account. So the pricing level feature allows you to create markups based on a percentage. The markups can then apply to the costs in your price list, but also they can be assigned to a customer profile or adjusted on a specific invoice or quote. Now, these are the different pricing levels that I've got in my account. To create one, all you have to do is click New Pricing Level, set a display name. Again, this is purely internal, not for your customer's reference at all, and then add a percentage markup. If we go back to my price list, you'll be able to see over here that I've got different versions of a sell price of my items. I've got 10%, 15%, 20% markup, depending on what I've put in my pricing levels. Now, this feature is really useful for automatic markups. Now, let's move on to the feature called Kits. Kits are a collection of materials, labour, and miscellaneous costs that, when combined together, they make up an item that can be added to any quote in Tradeify. So kits are a great way to bundle costs together that make up typical services for a business. They also speed up the quoting process by making it easy to select one master item instead of entering multiple items individually onto a quote. So to create a kit, you just tap on New Kit, and then you add your items in. As mentioned before, it can be built up of time, which uses your billing rates, which we already covered. You can head to your price list and browse through all of your fixed costs in there, or you can add in a miscellaneous cost, which gives you the flexibility to set the description and the sell price there and then. You then click Save and it adds the item in. Make sure to set a display name. Again, this is visible on invoices, on quotes, so do make sure to label it appropriately. We will now move on to the accounting integrations that we've got here in Tradeify. To access these, click on Integrations still in your settings, and you'll see the 3 different accounting packages that we integrate with. We integrate with Xero, Sage, and QuickBooks, and with each of these, we have a different level of integration. With Xero, we have a two-way synchronization. So what that means is that when you raise an invoice in Tradeify, that will send itself over to your accounting package and update your accounts on that end. Any changes made to that invoice in Xero will reflect through to Tradeify, such as if the payment's been reconciled. With Sage and QuickBooks, we have a one-way synchronization. So that means that any invoice raised in Tradeify will send itself over to your accounting package and update your accounts on that end. To integrate with any of these, all you have to do is click on each one that you'd like to integrate with, and then just follow the login portal. And it's as simple as that. Now let's move on to the staff member section. So in this section, you're actually able to control various different features linked to your staff profiles, starting off with creating a new staff member. So to do so, just tap on New Staff Member. Make sure to pop in a name and email address. The staff permissions on the right-hand side over here, they allow you to control which staff members can access what within the software. Make sure these are adjusted when setting up a staff profile. In this section, you're actually also able to control your staff notifications. You can send in-app or email alerts in Tradeify to staff members to ensure that they know that they've been assigned to a new or existing job. And finally, you're also able to connect to Google Calendar. You can connect with Google Calendar to see external appointments in the scheduler, but you're also able to see external appointments of any staff member who is also connected. If I tap on my profile over here, I just tap on Connect New Google Calendar and it will be linked up. Now let's move on to a section called Inquiries over here. With Tradeify Inquiries, you can import work orders, customer queries, and any other form of work requests into Tradeify. You can either forward inquiries through to a personalized email address, or point customers towards a personalized web inquiry form from your website. You will then see these inquiries appear in your inquiry inbox here in Tradeify over there. So by switching both of these on, you're able to set both the email address up and the website inquiry form. If you click on this link here, you'll have a bunch of instructions that will show you how to embed that link into your website, set it up on your social medias, or even to show you how to send it out to people as a link to access to fill out a form. The other integration we also have with Tradeify is with Stripe. So it's in this payment section over here. Now, integrating with Stripe is a really useful way to offer your customers online credit card payments on any invoice you email via Tradeify. The email containing the invoice, as well as the invoice PDF, will now contain a Pay Securely Now button. The customer can hit this button and complete the payment from any device. So this feature and this integration is really handy just to speed up the payment process when you finish a job in Tradeify. Now, this is the end of today's tutorial. We really hope you found that useful. If you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to contact anyone here in the support, customer success, or sales team at Tradeify. Thank you and have a great day.